What's up, everybody? Granddad Woolly here, and I'm here to talk to you about a very special announcement and something that I've been looking forward to doing for some time, and now it's finally available to do. We are less than a week away from the re-release of a very special and important album in my discography, and probably the one that just, finally got me some sort of recognition in this game. And I'm talking about MF Woolly, Chrome Ivory. It was originally released in 2009. And when it came out, just so much happened so fast and that I didn't expect. And what this video is going to do is I'm just going to break it down into pretty much the history of every part of that album, from the idea of it to the creation of it to what happened after I put it out. And just to give more of an understanding of what this album is about, because there's still a lot of people who don't know this album existed, and the people who do know existed just praise over it to this day, calling it some of my best work or my best project to date, calling it a classic and whatever you want to call it. I consider it my classic, but I only say that because I heard it so much, and going back and listening to it, it was a project that was ahead of its time. For someone at my age and doing what I did, which was going over a whole bunch of doom beats, which is probably one of the most risky things you could do, especially for someone who's not known. So I guess I'll start at the beginning. The idea for Chrome Ivory started way back in 2006. I was actually just finishing up the third installment of my crate tape series when I was still known as Tuscus Woolly. It was called The Primigenius, and I was around 18 years old when I finished that project and put it out. And I had to come up with an idea of how to go to a different level, because I felt like I was boxing myself into some sort of boom-bappy, soulful, conscious type rapper, which I am at some point, but I also had this other side of me that I really wanted to explore, and this other side of creativity that I really wanted to dive into and just not box myself and be a more well-rounded MC. And I took a break from music for a while. I started to go to college and just try to focus on more things other than music, but I was still writing at the time. And I wrote just random rhymes and scripts that I ended up putting on my MySpace page called Scripts in My Slumber, and I would just throw them on every week, and people would read them and they gave me great feedback for it. And I ended up making an actual project of that, and through that project, before I started that project, I came up with the idea, just from the name Scripts in My Slumber, for Chrome Ivory. That's when the whole idea of the changeover from Tuscus Woolly to MF Woolly to who I am now kind of started its inception. Basically, for those who don't know, my discography and my catalog follows this long storyline of the character of Woolly, and it's evolution and his evolution, and just pretty much the journeys and the things that he goes through on sort of a comic booky sci-fi level. And the idea for Chrome Ivory was during my hibernation or my slumber. My mind was taken over and brainwashed by Metal Finger's Doom, and I was to carry out operation called Operation Chrome Ivory. Which was pretty much the album was a cover of Operation Doomsday in my own mind. But it also pulled from, tracks from the King Ghidorah album, some from, John Robinson's Who Is This Man album, just a whole bunch of pretty much his whole entire Special Herbs catalog. And it took me so much time to pick the right tracks, pick which ones I'm gonna rhyme over, which ones I'm not gonna rhyme over, because it was a very touchy subject, and just what exactly should I do and how should I go about this project. It took me a year and a half to really formulate the proper idea and concept for the album, as well as beat selection from the catalog and everything like that. Once I got that done, it went to the writing process. And literally, this was the longest that I ever took writing a project, because I was so adamant on making sure every line, every word, every lyric was as best to my ability at that time. The song Drop, which was the first single from the album, took me 4 months to write. I wrote the first verse, and for 3 months after that, I didn't get that second verse until 3 months later, and then another month after that, I didn't didn't finish the song until then. And the same goes for a lot of songs. But I do remember one day that I did write You Can't Sell Records, Midnight Marauders, and The Box all back to back in one night, which was amazing because I was on, I was on that day. And but the writing process just took a lot of time and patience. I did a lot of research. I upped my knowledge about things. I really wanted to just be able to rhyme and have subject matters about almost anything that I can think of that was different. It would set me apart, but also make it accessible and fit the quality and the caliber of a Doom-related project. So it took me that long to do that project, and once I got the writing completed, I was about 2 years invested into this project. It had been a while since I put anything out, and it kind of gave me a sense of, where did you go for the small amount of people who did follow me and wondering when I was gonna put out more music. So to test the waters, I put out a teaser track called I Hear Voices Part 2, where I just rhymed over the I Hear Voices beat that MF Grimm and Doom did. Voices Part 0, which was Grimm's, and Part 1, which was Doom. So I just carried it on and did Part 2. And I put it out there just to see what would happen, and the response was amazingly well for it. And it motivated me to, okay, go ahead and just get recording for the next project, for the Chrome Ivory, and that's what I did. So that pretty much stops it as far as the writing process. So it took me 2 years to write it, all the songs, the concepts, and I just wanted to really make sure I had a good solid body of work before I got to the studio and put it out to the world, because this was to me, it was a very important project. It was a make or break project for me, because I was either going to be known as some dude like every other guy who was rhyming over Doom beats and didn't do too good of a job, or I would be that one exception who made a really solid project and didn't just take it for what face value is some guy rhyming over a Doom beat. I really took it seriously as if this is what it was, an actual full project that was put a lot of thought into. And that's pretty much what the pre-production stage of it was. And it took some time.